Hooligans. It's Jennifer, and first let me address, I know I look like Hermione Granger or Mia Thermopolis, but I don't know, hopefully I don't look like a mop. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some DIY scrunchies, and I'm going to show you guys a couple different methods. Scrunchies, I feel like, became super popular this year, and to be honest, a few years ago I used to be like, scrunchies are literally the ugliest thing ever, why would anybody wear them? But now scrunchies are literally the only type of hair tie that I ever use. And as you can see, I have all my Christmas decor up because it's almost Christmas. It is gift giving season. You can definitely make people some scrunchies. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm doing Vlogmas over on my vlog channel, Jen's Life. So if you want to check out my daily life, check out my vlog channel. I don't know. So if you like this video, make sure to like it, not just emotionally, and subscribe and turn on that notification bell. And if you do turn on notifications, make sure to comment that down below, and you might be featured as shout out of the week at the end of my next video. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so to start off this DIY, you're gonna need some fabric. You can either buy this from a store, or you can find things in your home to cut up, like this curtain cover thingy-majig. It's like this black velvet fabric that I thought looked really good. So sorry, mother. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've disappointed her. Okay, so anyway, I took my piece of fabric and I started to measure it out for my scrunchie. The measurements for this kind of vary depending on how long or how wide you want it. So I measured out 40 to 45 centimeters in length by 8 to 10 centimeters in width. I kind of did varying lengths and widths within that range for all the different scrunchies that I did. But once I measured that out, I just cut that out with my scissors. Now I'm introducing my, why did I say introducing? Now I'm bringing in my hair elastic. I'm basically wrapping the fabric around the hair elastic so that the right sides are touching. And I'm gonna line up the edges because that's what we're going to sew together. Now I'm going to my sewing machine and I'm just gonna sew the edges together in a straight line. Pretty straightforward. Oh, I just made a pun. Oh my gosh, I love myself. And also don't forget when you're starting and ending your stitches to backstitch. I mean, if you're using a sewing machine, I assume that you already know this, but like just giving you extra info if you want it. After I was done sewing the edges up together, this is what it looked like. And somehow I ended up with this little like flap at the end. I just cut her right off because we don't need her anymore. All right, and then you just have to flip the fabric inside out. This takes a little bit of time, but honestly, not very hard at all. Alright, once the whole thing is flipped right side out, you're gonna take one of the ends and fold it inside itself and then pull it over the other end so that none of the raw edges are showing. And now you can just take that and sew the two ends together, and now you're finished with your scrunchie. Alright, for the next one, we're doing a sewing method, but not using a sewing machine. For the fabric, I'm actually taking this old t-shirt that I never wear anymore. And again, I'm just taking my hair elastic and placing it in the middle of the fabric. So now I'm just gonna gather the edges together, and all you're gonna do is just sew it together by hand instead of using a sewing machine. This takes a while, but it's just as effective. And clearly I had some trouble pushing my needle through because it was quite thick. It's been doing its squats. So once you get to the end, you're gonna flip it inside out. All right, once that's finished, you're going to sew the edges up together. So I'm gonna do the same thing as last time by folding in one of the edges inside itself and then placing it over the other edge. So to close the gap, instead of sewing a straight line down the middle like last time, I'm gonna try a different method that actually hides the seam and that doesn't make the scrunchie flat in the middle. So basically, I'm gonna sew the insides of the edges together, which might sound a little confusing, but hopefully it'll make sense later. So I'm pushing my needle through a tiny section on the inside of the top flap and pulling my needle through, then pushing my needle through a section on the bottom and pulling my needle through. So when you pull on the thread, it gathers the top and bottom together and you can't see the stitching, hopefully. Weirdly enough, I actually learned this method through watching surgery suturing techniques on YouTube when I was in my Grey's Anatomy phase, which I actually am still in. So I guess I'm doing surgery on a scrunchie, which I guess is cool. This is what I ended up having. I have this beautiful yellow scrunchie and I love it. Alright, so the third method is the no-sew method. So what I'm actually gonna use is a glue gun. So my glue gun is actually kind of like ratchet and doesn't really work anymore, so I can't actually squeeze glue by pressing the trigger. I have to physically push the glue through with another glue stick. It's okay, so I'm gonna squeeze a line of glue out onto one of the sides of the fabric, and I'm gonna do this on the right side of the fabric, and then I'm gonna take the other side of the fabric and just press it down. Now I'm gonna just cut off any of the excess on the end so that it doesn't get bulky on the inside. Now you wanna take some kind of round object that you can wrap your fabric around, like a jar. In this case, I used a candle that I made in my DIY gifts video. Now I'm taking a hair elastic and just wrapping it around the entire piece of fabric. Oh, and also make sure that the inside of your fabric is facing outwards. And basically what you wanna do is squeeze some glue on the edge of the good side of the fabric, and then fold in the edges on both sides and just press them together so that the raw edges are not showing. You're just gonna do that around the entire scrunchie, and I actually really like this hot glue gun method because you can't see any sewing. It's all very seamless. Alright, and once you are finished gluing everything together, you can take it off of your jar, and this is what it looks like. Honestly, looks pretty good for something from free fabric, like a 5-cent hair elastic and some hot glue. So I call it a success.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes with...
So you've made it to the end of the video. Congrats. Yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Shout out of the week is right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
Against my hands, seen you from around the way. You didn't give me the time of day.